In this video, I'll be interviewing Minecraft pack makers with 8 different questions. The following pack makers are Euphoria, Markel, Poppy Ashley, Emmeline Pax, Luna, and Akona. Make sure you guys stay till the end of the video for a very special surprise. And go down below and follow every single one of these amazing creators. Let's get into the video. The first question is, what's your favorite pack res and why?
Okay, my favorite res for pack making is 32 because I think that it is just the right amount of pixels, and I think 16x packs are ugly, so 32 is just like the simple and easiest one.
I like 32x because that's what I'm requested to do most of the time, and that's a res that I'm more familiar with, and that's the one that I really like.
My favorite pack resolution is 32x because it still fits with the pixel art theme of Minecraft, yet there are enough pixels to really show off creativity in packs, whereas 16x you're quite limited.
I'm a really big fan of packs that use the 16x blocks, but then have like the 32x swords and like the PvP items and stuff. Because I feel like having like the default blocks are just really well made, especially like the new default ones by Japa. And they're good for FPS and they all look really, really nice. But then for the swords and stuff, you get a much nicer, like you can get a smaller sword that actually doesn't look goofy if you do a 32x canvas and do a small one there, and I just think it looks really good. And if you go any higher with the res, you start to get like a weird enchantment glint, so I feel like it's the best like midpoint for stuff to have the items be 32x and then the blocks be the default ones.
32x because it's a higher res of 16x.
Okay, my favorite
Very obvious.
16x because
that's the res of your pack.
Yeah. yeah.
Number 2 is, do you hand shade or do you use the gradient tool? And I need your opinion on like both of them.
I originally started with gradient shading, but now I do like a mix between both. But I like to hand shade more because it's easier. I would just suggest, if you're starting off pack making, to first do gradient and then work your way up to hand shading, because hand shading can be difficult, but it's also like once you figure it out, it's easy.
I personally use the gradient tool with plugins in Paint.net. I feel like it's more easier than Paint.net, and I mean, it's more easier than hand shade, and also it looks smoother most of the time.
Okay, well, I prefer hand shading because I find it easier for my style, but there's nothing wrong with gradient shading because you can still get the look you want either way of shading.
I think both are kind of more appropriate for like what different stuff. I mostly these days release stuff that is like hand shaded, but I feel like some concepts you just really have to do with a gradient. Like if you're doing like a fade pack between 2 colors, you're gonna really give yourself a hard time if you try to hand shade and then apply the gradient or something. So I feel like it's better to just use the gradient in the first place there. I think the gradient works better for like they both just have different vibes, I feel. I don't know. I wouldn't really say which one is like better or worse, but I feel like you get a lot more creativity and you get better colors if you do hand shading. So I feel like that's why a lot of people have picked it up lately, because you can more easily be creative with it.
Alright, do you hand shade or use the gradient tool? Ooh.
I really
Opinion on
hate
both.
gradient.
Oh, there you
I
go.
only
I
hand
didn't have to
shade. And I think if you gradient shade lowers packs, then you should stop because that's really ugly.
ask. Like,
No offense.
All right. I haven't.
What about you, babe?
I hand shaded one time, but I hand shaded a gradient. Anyways, next question.
Number 3 is, how do you feel about people using your textures within their own packs?
I don't really care if people use my textures, considering the fact that I'm barely a pack maker and I use other people's textures, and in my opinion it's just a block game, so you know, I don't really get anything from it anyway.
So you would allow people to use your textures as long as they credit you?
Yes.
I really don't care as long as you credit me and ask me. I really don't care. I'm not like a gatekeeper type of pack maker like some people. I just feel like you need to ask and credit me, and then we're all good. We're all straight.
Personally, for me, I prefer if people didn't use my textures because sometimes they don't credit me, and I'm really big on crediting people. But I think some people are more lenient and would like to see their textures in other people's packs, but personally, I don't like it.
I'm completely fine with it. I don't even mind if like they don't even credit me. Like they can, as long as they aren't like pretending they're the one who made it. But I hesitate to like go around everywhere and say that because I feel like because I don't just use my textures in my packs. Like sometimes I use other people's stuff, and I feel like if I go around like, oh yeah, you can use my textures, it's all good. Someone will take a texture from my pack and use it in theirs, and I won't have made it, and they'll think they have permission. They think, oh, it's all good. But I don't want to like be giving out the rights for other people's work because that'd be like messed up. But I'm completely fine if you use my tech. If it's like obviously mine, like that one fireball everybody uses, like it's completely cool.
I don't really care. It's just like give credit when it's due. Don't just ignore it. Especially if you steal someone's direct pack style and you know you are, you can give credit. It's like the least you can do.
Okay.
Out of all the packs you've made, what's your most downloaded pack?
My most downloaded pack is My Melody 32X, and that has 2K downloads. And no, I wasn't expecting it to get that many downloads because I don't like the pack and I hate the color pink and I think it looks horrible. So
My most downloaded pack is Quinella. It's a 64X pack that I worked on with Shelly, and I released it like a couple months ago. And it was like one of like my first 64X swords in packs, so I was scared, but ended up doing like really good, which I'm grateful for.
I think my most downloaded pack is probably Periwinkle or Evax Vault because Evax Vault had a lot of, well, it was a default edit, and at the time default edits were really popular, and a lot of people made videos using Evax Vault saying it's one of the best default edits and stuff like that.
I might have to check real quick. Actually, no, that would take too much time. It's either between the one I did for Glimpse for his 100K, because that one went really big, obviously because it was a big YouTuber 100K pack. Wow. But then one that was my own that wasn't like a YouTuber special that went really big was Spirit. And that one was like, I feel like that one went really big because it was like the first default edit pack that did like the 32X swords and PvP items. Like Dragon Fruit was really big, and there's some other packs that did that before, but it wasn't really popular to do it. But then obviously doing it with like a default edit, everybody loves default edits. So that one blew up really big and has always been like the biggest one on my channel that wasn't like promoted by a YouTuber or whatever.
Yeah, so Shrooms has 2.5k downloads.
See, that's my
good.
most downloaded pack and one of the only packs I've made. So let's just say 3k.
Okay, and then mine is 14,000. 14k from this popping pack. Yeah.
This is just like your personal opinion, just to spice it up. I'm gonna blur out the name, like no matter what. Do you believe that there is a pack maker who you think is overrated?
I think that was overrated because all of her swords always look the same, and that's kind of just like in the PvP community as a whole. It just always looks the same, like the swords, the 16X swords, and sometimes I get tired of looking at them, but she is still a great pack maker.
Is kind of like overrated, but like when people do packs, like the first thing they say is, oh, you're copying this or you're copying that, which I don't really agree with. Some people have their own styles that look the same, but yeah.
I don't know that many pack makers, but not really, because I feel like if there's a pack maker and they have hype over a pack, it's for a reason, which is like, so kind of same for other content creators too, not just pack makers.
Oh, overrated. That's a really hard question because when I make my packs, I try to have like a philosophy of like the best pack is the one, like the way packs get big, right? Is because people see them and then they download them, and like they get really popular because people are just using your videos. That's the best form of advertising. You can't like convince people like, oh, you're gonna use that. You can't like give any advertising any other way. So really, like, if you really think about it, like the biggest packs there are the ones that the most people use, the most people downloaded, because they got showed up in like YouTuber videos. So I try to go by that philosophy when I make my own stuff, and that's like, but then if I try to apply this philosophy to other people, there's like a lot of people who are really big, and then people get on them like, oh, you're generic, you don't know what you're doing, blah 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 blah. But honestly, like I feel like they must have like some sort of idea of what people really want to see or whatever, like they know it's clean or something like that. So I would hesitate to call anyone overrated, but I do feel like some of the largest pack makers, like the people like in the 50k sub range, like a lot of them don't have like, they're not doing any crazy creative stuff like the really small people you see in pack community are these days.
I mean, you can't blame someone for being successful because it's not their choice.
No,
It's just, you know, I just feel like there's a lot more other people that deserve credit.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, some people get paid for making mashups, which is pretty ridiculous.
Oh,
So,
dang.
I don't know. You can't blame someone for being successful.
True.
You just have to take it with a grain of salt.
I don't really look at pack makers, to be honest.
Who inspired you to start making packs and why?
Nobody really inspired me to make packs. It started to be like a trend, I guess you could say. And one day I was like really bored, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to make one because me and all my friends were like attempting packs, and I just wanted to see how I would do with pack making. So I decided to try it, and yeah.
Poppy actually inspired me to make packs. I was in one of her streams on there, and I actually still have it like saved in a bookmark. It was like the title was "When There's Bigger Bedrooms," some, and I kind of learned from that. Then I just branched off and started doing my own.
Emlyn Packs inspired me to start making packs when I first came into the community and like started downloading packs. She was one of the first people who like I saw their packs and I was like totally in love with her packs. And yeah, that's kind of the same. I wanted to be a pack maker that people would like, you know?
Oh my god, that was the hard question because I actually started doing the packs. Like I did them on my own a little bit like 5 years ago, and I had this whole other channel and stuff like that, and I grinded it out, and I can't remember what possibly inspired me to start doing some texture packs back then. I think, one person who was really good back then was I'm Forrest. I miss that guy. That guy was a legend, and if you remember him, like, that guy was an inspiration to everybody back then. So I guess that guy was like, I don't think he inspired me to do packs, but like he like I used him as reference a lot when I was first getting bigger. But then these days in like the new gen community, like I don't know what inspired me to come back to it. I think I was just working on it. I was like, oh, maybe coming back to Minecraft pack YouTube would be fun. But these days my biggest inspirations in terms of style wise are, I think Keno's probably like one of the best right now. Like he's just really on his grind all the time and he's creative and stuff. Tenok is super underrated. He just has the best ideas ever, and his style is really clean. Like nobody comes up with ideas like he has. And as I've been trying to get into like Gradient a bit more, I think Spurge and Mech are the best Gradient 16x people right now.
Emmeline and Pax, Ashley, and Lucy.
Mine's is quite obvious. She inspired me to make packs. Akona. I was like, why don't I start a pack one day? And I did it. So, and I made that one pack. I'm valid.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Do you think that there's a certain pack theme that is overused?
Okay, so I think that the pack theme that is overrated, I'm just gonna say a color. I think it's pink because pink is not that great of a color. Well, in my opinion, it isn't. And it's like overused. So, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are trying to do like characters now, but when it was like over like like just themes. It was like lavender and strawberry. Those two are annoying to me. Like lavender, strawberry, lavender, strawberry, lavender, strawberry. That's all you see. But yeah,
I think there are so many default edits that a lot of them don't stand out. And also, I think like cotton candy themes, there are a lot of them, like pink to blue fades and like sunset themes, but I still really like those packs, so I kind of like seeing them.
One thing that's super unfortunate about making packs and trying to have them go big sometimes is I feel like everybody ever like only wants to use like a blue pack. Like that's the only color anybody ever wants to use. Like your pack is gonna do a lot better if it's blue. And I feel like if that wasn't the case, if people like more colors, like I might even do like some more unique colors instead of just always having at least a blue version of stuff. Like I swear, I've done a lot of pink texture packs lately, and I always get these comments from like 13-year-old boys like, oh my god, I don't want to use a pink pack. Can you make a blue version, please? Thank you, haha. And it's like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, okay, first of all, even I know I've done both of these pack themes I'm about to say, but like a lot of people do them. So moon themed packs, they're not overrated, but people do them too much. And sakura themed packs, like flower themed,
Oh yeah.
those are super used as well. That doesn't make
What
them
else?
bad, but just I see them all the time.
That is true. Yeah.
What are some things you find difficult when it comes to making packs?
Things that I find that are difficult when making packs are coming up with a theme. It's easy to find like a color palette or like a shade of colors you want to work with, but it's not easy to find the theme of the pack, like what you want it to be based around. And it's also hard finding inspo for like little minor things, like for example ender pearls or fireballs and stuff like that. And sometimes it's really hard to find images that you can like even put in your pack, so that is definitely the difficult part. Subscribe to Euphorixa and tell Hydrants to stop forcing me to do things. Thank you. Love you guys.
I feel like trying to differ from your other sword or like your other pack can kind of strain you, or like trying to not make the sword look like the other sword that you just made. It was really difficult. Plus doing like the armor stuff, like it's really difficult and annoying. It takes time, and so it's like trying to find the right heart shape is so annoying because like you don't know what to do. So like what I just do is I just try to change the shape a little bit or shade it different so it don't look the same. But hearts, armor, and trying to make it look original was really difficult. But yeah, this is me. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Out.
I think the most difficult thing about making packs is kind of making textures that are versatile, that a large majority of an audience will like, because obviously if you're making a pack, you want it to do well and you want people to like it. So it's hard kind of fitting a bunch of aesthetics into one pack that everyone will like. Yeah, to new pack makers out there, if you get frustrated, you could always ask for help and just keep trying. If you don't know how to do something, just do your best to make it look nice. If you think like people will like it, just try your best.
I think the most difficult idea is just really coming up with what to do. I'm really experienced in like texturing wise. Like I don't know what I'm doing for like high res stuff or like really well pixel art, like very very scholarly work, like the most pixel art good stuff there. And I can't exactly do high res, but when I'm in my area of expertise, like I get the 16x and the 32x stuff, I'm pretty confident with my work. So really the struggle just comes down to coming up with ideas of like what I have to do, because it feels like, because pack making's been like a thing for so long, I feel like every good idea has kind of been done, and you have to really think really hard like which ideas have not been done really well or which ideas have not been done at all, and there's very few left. And that's why I don't release a lot, because it's really hard to think of like, dang, what would be different? Because I feel like a lot of people just kind of like, oh, new week, new texture pack, this one's green and it's like all the other green packs, or this one's red, or I've seen that before. And I feel like I'm wasting my time if I make something like that.
Sometimes creativity, like something to make you stand out against other pack people. And that's really hard to come up with sometimes, especially since a lot of people sometimes like take the style I have, and I have to try to be even more creative.
Subscribe to us. Icona and Island.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
bye.
Hydrants.
And Hydrants. Yeah,
Bye.
him too. And Euphoria.
Yeah, those are. Oh yeah, I love her. She's
Shout
so
out to
sweet.
Euphoria. All right. We should do a couple.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a few things as well. For those who stayed to the end of the video, here's a special gift to you all. I'm hosting a rank upgrade for one special individual, along with 3 rank upgrades on my own prison server, oplegends.com. Join my new Discord in the description to enter the giveaway, and as always, stay hydrated, baby!